Alrighty, guys, welcome back to A Conservative Confucius. Back at it again. We're gonna be doing something a little different. I'm actually gonna tell you, I guess, how I went from left to right. Because I was pretty far left for a long time. Um, so let's get into it, I guess. Alrighty, don't forget to go down there, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and ring the bell for notifications. Don't forget to share this video as well. Alrighty, so let's kind of settle in. So I guess it kind of really started I kind of noticing politics, or started noticing politics, I guess when I was about 22, no, 20, about 23, 24 years old. I didn't really care before then. I was a leftist. I was obsessed with LGBT stuff. I wasn't part of it, but I was like obsessed with being part of the ally crap. I was a Marxist, but even though I didn't really know what it meant, I knew my history really well, but for some reason I just did not know like why communism itself was bad in practice, but why Marxism was not. And I kind of just regurgitated whatever I heard online, at school, wherever it was, and that seemed to kind of basically hold through all the way until for a very long time, actually. I mean, I never really questioned, I didn't talk about politics, I never mentioned it, I didn't care about world things, I wasn't a fan of talking about wars. It was all just BS to me. It was just something happening very, very far away. Occasionally I would say, hey, that shouldn't be happening, or, oh, Israel's attacking Palestine. I hated Israel. Before I found out I was actually Jewish and found my family, which was in my early 20s, I hated Israel. And I wasn't a fan of Jews either, which is funny because I am Jew. I was basically everything I fight against today. I was a left-wing extremist, Marxist, anarcho-Marxist or anarcho-communist almost in a way. Even though I recognize the dangers of communism, authoritarian communism, which I thought was different than communism. I didn't realize they were the same thing. And that seemed to hold true all the way until about 2020. I started questioning things in the summer of, probably the spring of 2020, right when lockdown started happening. I was on my phone more. I was, I think I got on Twitter for the first time, and I had a Twitter for like 12 years and never used it. I had it since like 2010 or something, and just never got on it. Never used it. I think I messaged someone once and made a post after a movie saying how good it was, a Marvel movie, like in 2015. And that was it. And so I never really saw anything political. And it was just news occasionally that would float by me because someone said something or showed me something. I was a pretty ignorant person. And even though I was educated on, Greek and Roman mythology and history and US history and a lot of world history and Nordic mythology and Indian mythology and all of this stuff, Chinese mythology, I was very educated, but I was ignorant and stupid. And I feel like that's what most of these kids are. They think they're educated on a lot, but they're retarded on the rest. And until they realize that and realize how much of a gap they have between them and their mind and the real world, it's a big hurdle to get over, because you don't get over it by people telling you should get over it. You get over it by one day realizing how wrong you were. And for me, it was, I like I said, in 2020, I had a big journey where like when I left Philadelphia, I had lived there for about a year, and I hated it. My politics almost switched just because of that. They basically did. That was the initial thing that got me going. I saw all the policies I wanted in action. I moved to a city that everything I wanted, all of the benefit crap, all of everything, I agreed with all of it. It was horrible. Like, I have benefits because of medical issues, and it took me, and a person who was put on the quick list, to get it done because I had emergencies, like medical issues that needed to be handled, and I couldn't get it done until I had medical insurance there. And it was like 2.5 months before they even got me my card. It was horrible. And then they say like, it's the racist Republican states that want to make people vote with their ID, and it's so hard to get an ID. Maybe it's because it's hard to get an ID there. There's less DMVs. Most Republican big cities, or at least Republican state big cities, so it's a Republican state with a Democrat big city, there's so many DMVs. They're everywhere. Like every 2, 3, 4 miles, at most 4 miles. And in Philly, there was like one in South Philly, one in Northwest Philly, one in Northeast Philly, and then one in West Philly. That's it. There was like 4 or 5 of them, you know? And just in this small area of Arizona I live in the East Valley, I can name about like 4 different DMVs within, one's 5 minutes away, one's 12 minutes away, about 10 minutes away, one's about 14 minutes away, and then another one is about 15 and a half, 16 minutes away. Why is that here, but not there? Why is it? And I kept questioning these things, you know, because I came from a pretty red or purple place, you know, and I just didn't understand it. And I was like, what is going on? Why is it so different? And I didn't understand it until one day I was hearing that my neighborhood that I was living in Philly, in South Philly, was going to get safe shoot-up sites. And I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? So now drug addicts are going to flood to our neighborhoods. And they were like, no, it's not going to happen. If there's no drug addicts here, there won't be in the future. And I was like, yes, there will be. You're opening one like half a block from my house. There are going to be people here. The reason they don't come here is because they know they can't panhandle here or stay in this area and then do their drugs here. So if they can do it here, they're going to stay in a place where they can make more money panhandling and trying to rob people and stuff, doing it here, than if they have to stay in the shitty area in Kensington, Philadelphia, where it's just the worst place in the entire U.S. And seeing Kensington, working in Kensington, really, really, really changed me. And then it took me until like I moved back to Arizona right like the day before COVID lockdown. That entire, summer and fall, I really started educating myself. But I still hated Trump. No one had ever shown me proof that he wasn't racist. No one had ever shown me proof that he wasn't all of these things that the media had told me. Until one day, which is the day after I voted, which was horrible. I was so mad. Someone sent me a ton of different clips. They sent me a clip of him a clip of him denouncing white supremacy, racism, and all these different groups over 38 times. They showed me a video of him. Sorry, there's something going on in the other room. They showed me a video of him calling out Joe Biden for his racist policies, like the 94 crime bill, and what he had done, like the First Step Act. Then they sent me a video of Joe Biden saying, if you don't vote for you, you're not black, and all the other racist things he said, like he called black children roaches and all the other stuff. We're going to put you back in chains, all of that crap. And I was like, what did I just do? What did I vote for? How did I do this to my country? I'm a perpetrator on why this man is in office. It's my fault partially. I am a small part to blame in this. And it really gut-wrenchingly, it just took everything out of me. And I was like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? And I think a lot of people felt like that. And if they didn't right away, they felt like that within 6 months or a year. And if they didn't, then they do now. And that's a fact. And I kind of really woke up. I mean, immediately after, like less than 3 or 4 days after I voted, I felt like I made a mistake and I wanted to take it back. And then my eyes really opened up on January 6th. And especially all the footage I had seen with law enforcement breaking windows, and then they get caught. And then when the people say, hey, what are you doing? Stop. Then they tell them to stop and act like they're the ones committing trouble. Them pushing people through plate glass windows, them forcing them up a makeshift ladder and saying, go, 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 go. And telling people, whispering in people's ears. And then immediately after they break through the barriers, that was the first person to break through a barrier. And it was Ray Epps whispering into some guy's ear, all that crap, man. It woke me the hell up, And then the transgender crap started happening. I was like, okay, I'm wide awake. Because even when I was for the LGBT crap, I never supported, women's spaces being endangered, women being endangered, little girls being endangered, or the fact that you could force any type of language onto me. I was always very, 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 very pro free speech. And I always thought that was a leftist value. Then I realized, they abandoned it, years ago. I was still living in the days of classical liberalism, mixed with kind of leftist communist bullcrap. I was like a mixture of that shit, like Bernie, Bernie bros. And I loved Bernie, by the way. I used to love him. I hate him now. I see him for what he is, a scam artist who won't even follow through on his own policies he believes in. Yeah, and that's basically how I'm in my journey. I think it was insane. And, if you guys want to hear anything else from me, kind of what I went through as a child, some of the abuse I've been through, I did drugs for years. If you guys want to hear me go through any part of my life, I'm 100% down to do so. Just let me know. I hope this really helps you guys understand me. And yeah. So don't forget to go down there, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. And don't forget to share this video if you liked it. Even if you don't, I'd really appreciate it. All right, you guys, have a good one. I'll see you next time.